Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, Issue 6, Jeff Loeb writing and Enrico Marini on the art. Yeah, I mean, I think this is another consistent issue of this book. I'm kind of
Hmm.
still enjoying the overall vibe of it. Uh, Gilda gets thrown away from Harvey. She even like
Hmm.
tackles him at one point and says, "Bring me my husband back." And Two Face is like, "No,
Oh,
he's gone."
I love that she takes her belt off like a dad who's like, "You're about to get the belt, kid," and she clear. I can hear the and then she smacks him in the face like on the good side. So she smacks him on the Harvey side, which I
Yes.
think is important. You know.
Yeah, but then she
Uh,
jumps on his back and tries to strangle him
yeah.
with the belt. It's really
Yeah.
unhinged. Which, to be fair, in the original Long Halloween, Gilda did
Yeah.
turn out to be unhinged. So
Yes.
this does add up with who her character is.
Hmm.
But yeah, Grundy throws her out, and that's kind of where we leave that stuff. The rest of the issue is like Batman and Gordon dealing with the fact that the two FBI agents who were burned alive transporting Joker, transporting what's his name, Falcone. What was his first name?
Mario.
Mario. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, not one of the Falcones that I know well, right?
No.
I know
Alberto.
Alberto. I know
Carmine.
Carmine. Yes, yes, these ones. All the ones that,
And then there's Sophia, but her
and
last
of
name
course
isn't.
Sophia. Yes,
Yeah.
but
She's Hikante now.
yes.
Huh?
Anywho, Amanda Waller shows up, who is currently in the FBI. So we're still very much setting this in the relatively early days of Batman, which makes sense because it's Dick's Robin, so obviously. But it's this idea that she worked her way up through the FBI. And Batman even has a line at one point where he's like, "Oh, Robin, I suspect one day we'll have to deal with her." I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, that's definitely going to happen, Batman. It's
She's gonna be a pain in the rear end.
bit on the nose, but she reveals that these two FBI agents weren't FBI agents, and this was like Gordon's screw up for like not like checking who they were, who they said they were. So there's a little bit of like a tiff between Batman and Gordon here, as they're kind of like throwing blame around for this. But Robin mentions that the body of like Falcone was dragged away, and there's these leaves around, so it kind of plants the seeds that Poison Ivy has something to do with what's going on here. Uh, I will say I have a complaint here at the bottom of this page. So Batman's like, "Hey, Robin, take those vines back to well, he says the lab because he's in front of Gordon, so he doesn't want to like give too much away. Take them back to the lab and analyze them. I'm going to go check out this other thing." And there's this moment where like Batman's like standing in front of them, and then he's gone in the next panel, and then Gordon and Robin look at each other and say, "I hate when he does that," at the same time, which is a funny enough joke, right? Everyone remembers the joke from Long Halloween
Hmm.
where Batman's out of the scene and Harvey Dent looks all shocked, and Gordon just goes, "He does that." They put it in the Dark Knight. That's such a good little
Yeah.
moment. Um, but I didn't think this made much sense because Batman was standing in front of them. Like I feel
No.
like
Yeah.
the art here did not make it clear that Batman was in a position to do this. So the transition to that next panel where he's gone just felt weird. It felt like a continuity error.
Yeah. It's almost like he was just sneaking around them like a cartoon character, with his cape up like this, like you don't see me. And then smoke bomb and he's gone. That's almost what it was like. But yeah, it's still a good joke though, because I like the camaraderie between Gordon and Robin here.
Yeah. Batman goes to Falcone's apartment and finds Catwoman snooping around. She's there for the painting, for some reason. But I think what's more interesting here, right? Obviously, she does have ties to stuff that's going on because she's obviously working with Poison Ivy later on. But I do like that she kind of brings up a few things here about how Batman seems to care about Robin. Obviously, she's kind of flirty, as she often is.
Hmm.
But like, yeah, I kind of like the back and forth here a little bit. It was a little bit different and felt like it was kind of developing their characters.
Yeah, and the reference to When in Rome, which is the other Loeb sale book,
Yes.
right? So, because she talks about, it started while she was in Rome, and that's a piece of it, ultimately, kind of what's going on here. Which I
Yeah.
feel Catwoman's going to be more key to this than I previously had thought.
Yeah, because obviously they're analyzing the vines, and Batman's. I mean, first of all, they're questioning with each other, like, okay, what is this? What's going on? Like, why is this holiday killer not actually killing anyone? He's just wounding people. That's very different than before. But it does, and it kind of maybe paints this idea that whoever's doing this may not actually be that bad. Maybe they're just using the holiday thing as a cover for whatever they're actually doing. So I don't know if the implication at the end is that Catwoman and Poison Ivy are the ones that are just straight up doing that. They could
like they're copycatting.
Yeah, without the murdering part itself. But Batman and Robin actually get distracted because they're called to help the fact that Mr. Freeze is trying to rob a bank. So we get a couple of pages of them fighting Mr. Freeze and his gangs. And notably, Mr. Freeze says something to Batman, which is the same thing that Calendar Man said to Robin at Arkham a few issues ago, and that Catwoman said to Batman earlier in the issue, which is that you're on the wrong side. So it's like, what do all these villains know? That they're all like in unison saying the same thing that is making sense to them. And I don't know. I'm intrigued. They've given me an interesting mystery here. I'll give them that. But they hear the 22 caliber gun go off, and it tries to hit Freeze. It actually does hit him technically. It hits his dome, and Batman kind of like patches it up with some glue or whatever it is. And Robin though runs after whoever shot the gun. And the issue kind of ends, well, it doesn't end, but this scene ends with Robin has been shot. He's been shot. It looks kind of like it's in the shoulder, so it's probably not lethal or anything. But it's the St. Patrick's Day shooting, and it's Robin who's went down. So we get this big full page spread of Batman holding him, and it's all, very Death in the Family-esque. This is probably the thing that makes me think that it isn't just Catwoman and Poison Ivy, though, because I feel like Catwoman wouldn't do this.
No.
Because as much as they're not killing, whoever's doing this isn't killing people necessarily. Shooting a kid is definitely like a line that I don't think Selina would cross.
And she had pointed out to Bruce that he means a lot to you.
Yes.
So I don't think that would be the lesson to learn. You know what I mean?
No.
Because she's also more worried about this, whatever her play is with Mario, right? So I think these are two independent things. I think someone else is posing as Holiday. Why? I don't know. But they seem to be going after the criminals. So maybe they're trying to help. Yeah. They're trying to help Batman. Because
the thing at the end with Selina and Poison Ivy is that they're the ones that have got Mario, right? They took Mario from the car. So why they took Mario and what they're doing with him, probably it's more to do with Selina and her whole, family connection to the Falcons, but
is a woman still a bastard child? Is there a gender specific to
I've
that?
never thought about it. I would assume so, but I mean maybe it is just specifically a men thing. Maybe there's a different word for
well we can, instead of gonna drop bastard, but she's the illegitimate daughter of Carmine, right? Yes. So that's her brother. She seems like she wants a piece of the crime, whatever's left over, it seems. Because
she's looking for Mario's mother. That's what she's asking Mario, who's strapped up to the wall with all the veins.
Yep. And that's what she was looking for in Rome, apparently. That's why she went there, right?
Yeah. No, I never read the Rome book.
Me neither.
So this element of it's kind of new to me, but
yes. Also, Ivy looking like an actual plant goddess here. Her hair is all done up with leaves, and it's covering all her bits. Definitely more in line with the Tim Sale Ivy, which I do like that they're letting the artists do, their own thing, but also there's those homages to the Tim Sale style.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I think the art's generally pretty solid in this. It's definitely got kind of the I don't even know what you call the style, but it definitely feels like it's doing the kind of the flat colors, not too overly shaded or anything like that.
I thought this might be Cliff Chang until I went and checked who the artist was, and it was Enrico Marini, because they're very similar.
There's a little bit of Cliff Chang in there. I can see it. Yeah,
flat, kind of angular, like the Robin pages. It was just giving me that vibe. But yeah, no, the art's very strong. I like it here. And again, it pays homage to a lot of the Tim Sale stuff without overdoing it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think the art's pretty solid. Yeah, I've been kind of surprised with just how consistently I've been enjoying this book for the most part. Like, I don't think it's like amazing. It's definitely not as important as the Long Halloween ever was, but I'm finding myself enjoying kind of the development of like the Batman and Robin relationship, and then this kind of feels like a mini payoff to the whole idea of like Batman, because even earlier in the issue he says something to the effect of, "I have to remember that I'm here to watch Robin's back as much as he's here to watch mine," and of course he's going to feel like he's failed now that he's holding Robin with a bullet in him. So
right, because he got distracted by trying to help Freeze, right?
Yes.
And Robin went out after one of the Two-Face guys. Yeah. So, and that's when he gets shot.
Oh no, it says whoever shot the 22 gun.
Oh, they that's right. They turn around and they shoot him. So Robin definitely got a view of, at least in shadow, of who this was.
So yeah, we'll see how this goes. All right, what are you giving Last Halloween?
I'm gonna give this a straight 8.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think I'm having a good time. So 8 out of 10 for me as well.